Hello, is this Catherine? Can you come over for a bit? The call was from Michelle, my husband's younger sister. She sounded really panicked and on edge. Michelle's house is just a short walk away. Welcome, said Michelle. Hey, here you are. Thanks for coming in. Please take a seat at the counter. We were guided to seats right in front of the kitchen counter. Well, both of you together. How are we all doing? Michelle asked. As always, we're doing well, we replied. Even though there were only 4 people inside, the atmosphere felt bustling and cheerful. I thought to myself how wonderful this place is. Bob, can't we get 2 of the usual? I asked. Leave it to me, Bob replied. He skillfully cracked and whisked 4 eggs, poured them into a pan, and shaped them into omelets. He added some Italian parsley and handed the plate to Michelle. Here you go, 2 servings of omelets, Michelle said as she served us. This is so delicious, I said. I've had it many times and know the taste, but it's the kind of dish I suddenly crave, and it's always delicious. After we finished eating, we were served coffee. This dish is always so tasty, isn't it? I remarked. Thank you, Michelle replied, sitting across the counter from me. That's when I noticed something. Michelle was wearing earrings that looked just like the ones I'd ordered online. Without thinking, I said, Michelle, those earrings are so cute. Where did you get them? Michelle smiled and replied, Oh, really? Thank you. I got them online. Yeah, online shopping sure is handy, I said. Michelle nodded. Yeah, that's right. But when I'm running this cafe all the time, I hardly get back home during the day. I don't even have time to receive packages. Because of this, I decided to change how I receive my deliveries. I learned that there's a way to have my packages left by the front door, even if no one is home. So, I started using this service for my packages. One day, while I was on a break at work, I received an email from the delivery service. It was a notification that my package had been delivered. This was a usual occurrence, so I didn't think much of it. However, when I got home later, I noticed something odd. The package that should have arrived wasn't in its usual place by the door. I checked outside the gate but couldn't find it. Strange, I muttered, hearing the sound of crows in the sunset-colored sky. Larry hadn't come home from work yet, but it was about time he would. With dinner to prepare before he got back, I decided to set aside the missing package issue and went inside to cook. Once I started cooking, I got so focused on the task that I completely forgot about the missing package. The following days were busy with house tours and work, and I didn't have time to address the undelivered package. Then, on a Sunday morning that weekend, while watching the news, Larry said, I'm in the mood for that omelette. The omelette refers to one from a cafe we often visit, run by Larry's sister Michelle and her husband Bob, who is the chef and owner. Both of us had a rare day off, and Larry suggested, would you like to go to that cafe? Sounds good, let's go, I agreed. Though we call it our favorite spot, we only go about once a month. Usually, it's when either Larry or I express a desire to visit because Bob's omelettes are exceptional and one of Larry's favorite dishes. I got it. I'll head over right now, I said. When I arrived at Michelle's, she led me to a room full of buzzing bees. What the heck is this? I exclaimed. When I opened this cardboard box, they just came flying out, Michelle explained. We figured we had to call Michelle's husband, Bob, who was at the coffee shop, so I dialed him up. Tucking in a room full of bees seemed like a bad idea, so Michelle and I stepped outside. The 3 of us gathered on the front porch, and I asked Michelle, So, Michelle, why do you have that box of bees in your house? I don't know, she replied. I just picked it up because it was left in front of my house. That can't be, I said. That box was sent to me from my daughter Emily. My name's Catherine Jones. I'm 65 years old and work part-time at a local supermarket. One thing that hasn't changed since I was a kid is my love for stuffed animals and teddy bears. Growing up, we didn't have much money, so I couldn't often get stuffed animals or teddy bears. But now that I'm an adult, every time I travel or go out, I buy a teddy bear. Collecting them has become my joy. The person who indulges this childlike hobby of mine is my husband, Larry Jones. Larry works at the town city hall. About a year ago, there was a teddy bear I desperately wanted. It was a limited edition online item, a collaboration between a popular brand and character. However, I had never shopped online and was going to give up on getting it. That's when I was talking to Larry about it. "Leave the online shopping to me," he said. "We recently started ordering things online at my workplace." "Really?" I asked. "Yes," he replied. "So I'll order it for you." "Oh, Larry, you're always so reliable." "Thank you," I said. With that, Larry promptly took out his laptop and showed me how to order, helping me through the process. Whenever I had troubles, Larry was always there to help. After that, I started ordering everything online, from daily necessities and groceries to even teddy bears. Around December of that year, the supermarket where I worked got very busy. Being experienced at my job, I started working almost every day. With my busy schedule, I had limited time to pick up the items I'd ordered online, and Larry was even busier. That day, like many others, we decided to head over to the cafe. It's just around the corner from our house, under a clear blue sky. We walked to the cafe. When we opened the door, a metal doorbell jingled. "Well, how about asking to have your packages left by the door?" I suggested to Michelle. "Don't worry about it," Emily reassured me. "We have a huge swarm of bees back home, and this might just help us catch the culprit quickly." I was skeptical but hopeful, so I waited for the bee-filled package. A few days later, after work, I checked my phone and saw that the anticipated delivery had been made. When I got home, just like always, the package was nowhere to be found. I wasn't sure if this was a good or bad sign, but there was nothing I could do about it. Honestly, I was about to give up. At that moment, my smartphone buzzed. It was a call from Michelle. "Hello, Catherine. Can you come over for a bit?" Her voice sounded urgent, almost panicky. Michelle's place was just a short walk away. "Sure, I'll be right there." When I got to Michelle's house, she led me to her room, and to my surprise, the room was filled with bees flying everywhere. "Oh my gosh, what happened?" When I opened this box, this is what I found inside. First, I was shocked to find bees buzzing all around the room, and even more shocked to find out that Michelle was the culprit. I had been told by Emily that bees don't sting at this time of year unless they're provoked, so I hadn't been stung yet, but I was not sure about Michelle. I thought I should call Bob, who should be at the coffee shop, so I dialed his number, thinking it'd be difficult to discuss in a room full of bees. Michelle and I stepped outside. The three of us gathered at the front door. I then asked Michelle, "So, Michelle, any idea why there's a box of bees in this house?" "I have no clue. I just picked up and opened the box that was outside." "That can't be right. That box was sent to me from my daughter Emily." "I told you I don't know." "Michelle, did you steal it?" I said no, didn't I? Michelle raised her voice. "If you say you didn't, mind if I take a look inside? Maybe other stolen stuff might pop out." "No way." "Let me check the room quickly," Michelle said, going into the room and not letting me enter. I had no choice but to wait outside. Up until now, the only items that hadn't been delivered were cosmetics and condiments, so I wasn't in a rush. But this time was different. The teddy bear I had been eagerly waiting for, which was supposed to be part of my collection, hadn't arrived. I decided to get to the bottom of this. That evening, I talked to Larry. I didn't receive the teddy bear that was supposed to arrive today. "That's bad," Larry said. "How many times has this happened now?" "Probably about 3 times. Something's not right." "Oh, I'm gonna call the post office now," Larry suggested. "Let's do that." I called the nearest post office, but as expected, no good news. The delivery man answered the call. "I can't find the package you said you left at the door." "Really? I'm sure I left it right in front of your door. I thought maybe you still had it." "What's going on?" "Well, there's a possibility someone stole it. You might want to file a police report." "Thanks, I'll think about it." Both of our spirits seemed to sink. For some reason, I felt sorry for the delivery man too. Even if I wanted to file a theft report, I didn't have any solid proof and was hesitant. That's when Larry said, "Let's ask Emily. She might know a solution." Emily is our daughter who turned 40 this year. Now she's married and living at her husband's house, seemingly swamped with chores and work every day. Thinking it might be easier to discuss with my daughter Emily, I decided to ask her for advice. "Hello, Emily." "Hey, it's Emily. What's up?" "I've been having an issue for the past month. The packages I've been expecting haven't been arriving." I thoroughly explained the situation with the recent missing deliveries, mentioning that the delivery guy was certain he had dropped them off. "That sounds like someone might be taking them," Emily said. "I thought so too. What should I do?" "If your packages are being stolen every time, I've got an idea." She chuckled a bit and then came up with a wild suggestion. "I'm gonna send over a box of bees. If we'll leave it out for delivery, maybe we can't catch the thief red-handed when they open it." Michelle looked a bit surprised and asked, "Is there such a thing?" I decided to explain the service to her in detail, sharing my own experience. "It's a good service, but sometimes there are mistakes. There have been a few instances where I haven't received my packages even though I've paid for them. I really should call the courier company about it, but I just haven't had the time." Michelle responded empathetically, "Oh, I see. So that happens." I took this moment to check the status of my packages. At the top of the list, the limited edition teddy bear I ordered was shown as preparing for shipment. I pointed it out to Michelle and said, "Look, Michelle, it says it hasn't been delivered yet." Then I pointed to the second item, which read "delivered." It was a cosmetic product. I said, "This should have already arrived at my place, but it hasn't." "That's strange. I hope you find it," Michelle replied. At that moment, I looked over at Larry. He and his friends were having a different conversation, but soon they joined in on our topic. "Well, I guess we should just wait for it to be delivered someday," Larry said with a carefree smile. He's always been such a laid-back guy and doesn't seem to take things too seriously. We continued our casual chat for a while before leaving the cafe. On the way home, I impulsively checked the delivery history on my smartphone. Nothing had changed. Most of the packages were marked as delivered. I wondered why they hadn't arrived and thought of various possible reasons. Maybe the local post office was holding it, or it got delivered to the wrong house. I was pretty sure no one in my neighborhood would just take a package left outside someone else's door. Right now, I was mostly concerned about whether the limited edition teddy bear would be delivered as promised. Whether or not I pursued the issue would depend on if that teddy bear arrived. That's what I was thinking to myself. 2 days had passed since I went to the coffee shop. Right afterward, I eagerly checked my smartphone. At last, the delivery status of the limited edition teddy bear I had been longing for read delivered. I quickly changed out of my work clothes and started walking home faster. Once home, I looked for the package, but I couldn't find a box anywhere. I still hadn't figured out why the package hadn't arrived, and I was getting pretty frustrated. To be honest, the idea seemed way too bold, but it might be worth a try. Can you really do that? I confronted Michelle, holding the teddy bear up. "Is this teddy bear also one you bought?" I showed it to Michelle and Bob. I was surprised to find out modern stuffed animals could have numbers like this. Bob muttered something, and Michelle sat quietly on the sofa, looking down. I asked Michelle if she had been stealing from my house. She admitted that she had. I wanted to know what she had taken and why. Michelle said she used a little bit of toner and some imported seasonings. When I asked why, she explained she was out of money and had been spending more than she had. But when I asked what she spent it on, she hesitated and seemed to be hiding something. Suddenly, Bob picked up a piece of paper from under the couch. It was a horse racing ticket. Bob revealed that Michelle had gotten really into horse racing and had used the money she saved from stealing my stuff to place bets. Bob then asked if Michelle had taken any money from their cafe. She admitted she had taken a little bit. I was shocked to find out she had embezzled tens of thousands of dollars from their cafe. Michelle apologized loudly, saying she was very sorry and wouldn't do it again, but I couldn't forgive her for stealing from me. Bob was also very upset. He had been secretly recording our conversation and suggested we should go to court. With strong evidence, Bob and I decided to file a police report. Bob chose to divorce Michelle, and she faced charges for theft and embezzlement. She was eventually arrested. Bob's cafe started hiring part-time workers, and sales improved. I was given the chance to become the part-time team leader. Despite the drama, I felt better off without Michelle. Bob and I focused on our work and moving forward. I started receiving packages with new teddy bears, and many joined my collection. Larry and I even traveled to find a special edition teddy bears. Every day has been wonderful, surrounded by my teddy bears and enjoying life with Larry. Michelle hesitated for a moment before replying, "Yes, that's mine." I knew this teddy bear was a limited edition, and each had its own serial number. I turned the bear over and found the serial number tag. I quickly pulled up my order confirmation on my phone, which included the bear's unique serial number. Holding the bear and the phone together, I showed her the matching numbers. "Really, Michelle, this bear has the same serial number as the one I ordered. It's impossible for two bears to have the same number." Michelle's face turned pale as the truth became undeniable. Bob, who had been silently watching the situation unfold, finally spoke up. "Michelle, this isn't right. You can't just take other people's things and lie about it." Michelle, now visibly distressed, started to explain herself. I don't know why I did it. It just started with something small, and then I couldn't stop. I didn't mean for it to get out of hand." I felt a mix of anger and disappointment. It wasn't just about the things she had taken. It was about the trust that had been broken. I took a deep breath, trying to calm down. "Michelle, we have to set things right. You need to return everything you've taken, and we need to figure out how to handle this situation." Oliver, having finished collecting the bees, came out of the room, sensing the tension. "Is everything okay here?" I nodded, still feeling overwhelmed. "Yes, I think we just need to talk things through." Michelle agreed to return everything, and even offered to pay for any missing items. We decided not to involve the police, given that Michelle was willing to make amends and this seemed to be a first-time offense. However, we made it clear that any future incidents would not be tolerated. After everything was settled, Bob and I left Michelle's house, feeling a mix of relief and sadness. It was a strange and unsettling experience, but at least we had resolved the issue and recovered the missing items. I've also realized the importance of taking more proactive steps in safeguarding my deliveries in the future. I checked the number on my teddy bear and saw a matched number on another teddy bear. Both had the same 5-digit number, so I knew this teddy bear was mine.